did he get in? He's about 20 years old. He's got dementia. His name is John Snow.
Okay. Lisa, can you remember the time in your life when you started to create more?
Yes. I remember when my practice became a personal practice. And I've always been working with Schliebe Arts since I think 2004. And it was a refuge, but I had to work day job. So she was always saying, you should make more of your own thing, because I was only doing teaching things with little kids at the primary schools or community centers. And I never listened to her. Never. Or just little potterings here and there. And then, as I was telling you, I had incident at work where I was forced to be home, So I had to take the time to recover. And then I wasn't recovering. So something said, you have to touch the clay. You have to go back to the clay. It's been here. You should have been using it all along, and I wasn't. And then I did. And hook, line, and sinker, I was back in. Remembering how it was when I was young, and I had this passion for this clay, and I got back into it. And she continued to encourage me. Well, what do you want to learn? And I said, well, I like things fired outdoors. So she said, well, we'll create a workshop. And that's how I got to practice. Yeah. So I'd come up with these ideas, and she would support me. And because it's grant aided, I would get money from her to teach what I wanted to learn. And that's how the practice built. Yeah, I have to say, Schliebe was very supportive in my personal practice blossoming into all that it is today, actually.
And tell me how, because you live quite remote. From my perspective, driving here, it took me a few hours. It's very lovely and close to nature. Do you think being so away from the city helps, or it interfere with creativity? How do you feel living?
For me, it's integral. Living in the sticks is integral for me. Because we left the city in New York. Okay. And it was...
In New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was either move to the country in America or move to Ireland. And I'd be a bit of an adventuresome, so I chose Ireland. And we came, and I loved it. I loved it. All the country things that I ever wanted to do, like I took a groom course just to be around the horses, and little things that if I go into the forest, even for a second, I just feel better. You don't have anything to think about it. You're listening to the trees, you're watching the trees sway, you're standing at the lake wondering, why is the lake such a calming place to be around? And yeah, I couldn't do without it.
And when you think about your process and working with clay, how did you come to this way of working with pigments, with clay, with firing?
It's interesting because I'm watching it come around to my heritage. Yeah. So I just started making things, and they all came out very rustic, very raw, very earthy, very archaeological. And then I found Pre-Columbian work. And I was drawn to that, but I didn't know that I was drawn to that until more Pre-Columbian things kept coming my way. And I started working with these Spanish people in Latin America who are doing courses on Pre-Columbian art. And I just love the way it looks, it's, I don't know, from the jungle, and that's me, yeah. And I like my things to look that way, that raw, rustic, excavated kind of thing.
Yeah. And you hold classes here as well in your space.
I do.
You would teach.
The big class that I have is the Raku class. And I like it because you can do it in a day, and it's exciting and it's fun, and you can walk away with a piece, you know. And there's so much going on. People are wide-eyed and like in a candy shop, you know. It's exciting from start to finish. And I worry that it won't be exciting, but every single time, people get blown away by what happens in the process.
So explain Raku, just if someone haven't heard about it.
So Raku is a fast firing, and it's old, ancient, from Japan, but of course it's been westernized. So I'd be leaning toward the western end, which is faster. And you can use glazes, but I like the raw ones as well. So the stuff that's on bare clay. And so you can glaze, regular dip your glaze in and fire it, and it'll have little crackles in it, and the smoke and then you reduce it, and the smoke will fill in the cracks, and it has this lovely look. And it's exciting, because there are many variations that you can put on a glaze. And then there's naked Raku, which is another bare clay, and you're using slip and glaze, but it's the crackles that form with naked Raku and the smoke. So it's actually smoke kissing the clay, and you peeling back so you can see the cracks. And there's that, and then there's obvara. So Raku is like a blanket term right now. So if I wanted to talk to someone out in the community, I would say Raku, and they would vaguely know because of Great Pottery Throwdown what I'm talking about. But there's so many ways to do Raku, and it's like I said, you can see your results very quickly, and it's working with smoke, it's working with fire, it's outdoors, it's me. So that's what Raku is to me.
And it sounds very poetic the way you describe it. I'm excited just listening about it.
I love it.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Can you describe the feeling, or how you feel in your body, in your mind, in your with your hands when you're working with your hands in the studio, on your own, away from teaching?
I can.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it last night. I don't know why I was thinking. Oh, I do know why. Because in my youth, I used to write. So when you're exploring creativity, I don't know, you run the gamut, writing, all this stuff. And when I wrote, there was a connection. Right through my hands. No thinking, no talking, no, it just came out. And I was thinking, does that happen anymore? But it happens, and I'm not aware that it's happening, because sometimes I don't know what I'm going to make, and the next thing I know, there's this thing on the table, and I have to decide, well, what do I do with that? But I know it's a feeling, a direct connection. And I say it comes from my head, but it probably comes from up here, and right down through and right on in, through your hands.
It's like a sense of being a vessel, or a medium, like a
Exactly.
thing in between.
Exactly. So I used to do this meditation, and it was all about that, allowing that light and energy to come through the chakra and right on down. And I like to imagine that kind of stuff.
Me too. Thank you. That's amazing. Thanks so much, Lisa.
I hope I answered your questions.
Yeah, you did. And so much more.